My name is Whitney Walsh. I am 32 years old. 3 days ago, I woke up from surgery to 14 missed calls. My 5-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son were sitting on a neighbor's porch alone. My parents, the two people I trusted with my children's lives, had left 2 hours earlier. I called my mother from the recovery room, still wearing a hospital gown, still tasting anesthesia at the back of my throat. She picked up on the third ring, cheerful, like nothing had happened. What she said next was the last thing she would ever say to me as someone who had access to my children. By 9 that night, I had changed every lock, every emergency contact, and every line of my will. Before I take you back to last Tuesday morning, the morning I dropped my kids off at my parents' house and drove myself to Ridgeview Community Hospital, please take a moment to like and subscribe. If you have a second, drop a comment and tell me where you are listening from and what time it is there. It means more than you know. Now let me take you back to 6:45 in the morning, the day everything changed. I have been a pediatric nurse at Ridgeview Community Hospital for 8 years. I work the floor 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, and I pick up overtime when the census is high. My husband, Marcus, is a physical therapist. Good hands, steady voice, the kind of man who can calm a screaming toddler and reset a dislocated shoulder in the same afternoon. He was in Denver that week for a continuing education conference he had booked 3 months earlier. We have 2 kids. Oliver is 7, Sophie is 5. I am the person in my family that everyone calls when they need something and nobody calls when they have good news. Need someone to babysit Amber's dog for the weekend? Call Whitney. Need a ride to the cardiologist at 7 in the morning? Call Whitney. Need someone to organize the family reunion, order the tablecloths, print the name tags, and also bring a dessert? Whitney has it handled. But when Oliver scored the winning goal in his first soccer game, my mother found out 3 weeks later. From a photo I posted online, I learned early that asking was the fastest way to feel invisible. So I stopped asking. I scheduled. I managed. I handled things. And somewhere along the way, my family decided that I was the person who did not need anything. Last Tuesday was supposed to change nothing. A routine surgery, 4 hours in and out. I had arranged everything. The pre-op blood work, the time off from work, the overnight bags for the kids. All I needed from my parents was 4 hours off their day. 4 hours. That is what my children's safety was worth to them. My gallbladder had been giving me trouble for 6 months. Sharp pain after meals, nausea that made night shifts unbearable. My doctor scheduled the surgery 2 weeks before Marcus' conference, and we both agreed it made sense. Laparoscopic cholecystectomy, minimally invasive, general anesthesia, 2 hours on the table, 2 hours in recovery, home by dinner. Marcus offered to cancel Denver. I told him no. Mom and Dad will watch kids go. It's fine. That phrase, it's fine, has been the operating system of my life. I called my mother on a Thursday evening. Mom, I need surgery next Tuesday. Can you and Dad watch Oliver and Sophie from 7 to about noon? Deanne Walsh does not say yes the way most people do. She says it like she is granting a royal favor. Of course, sweetheart. Bring them over at 6:30. We will make pancakes. Don't you worry about a single thing. I packed overnight bags for the kids, a change of clothes, toothbrushes, Oliver's reading book, Sophie's stuffed rabbit. I wrote a note with their schedules, snack at 10, lunch at noon, Sophie naps if she gets cranky. I listed allergies, emergency numbers, insurance copies. I put everything into a manila folder and left it on the kitchen table. That folder. I cannot tell you why I grabbed a manila folder instead of a plastic bag or a backpack. Nurses are organized by nature. We label things. We put things in order. It is the only way to keep people alive when the world gets loud. I did not know it then, but that folder would become the most important object in my house. Tuesday, 6:45 in the morning. I pull into my parents' driveway, the house I grew up in, a sage green colonial on Birch Lane with a garden flag by the mailbox that changes every season. Right now it says, "Welcome spring, even though it is already May." Dad opens the front door in his bathrobe. Ray Walsh, 61 years old, retired postal carrier. He has never once raised his voice in my presence, and he has never once stood up for me either. He does both with equal consistency. Morning wit. He takes Oliver Unk's backpack. Oliver drags his feet inside like he is being led to a courtroom. Mom is in the kitchen, coffee on the counter, a pan already warming on the stove. She hugs me carefully. I have been guarding my right side for weeks and takes the manila folder from my hand. Don't worry about a thing, she says. We have got this. I kneel down. Sophie is clinging to my leg. I peel her fingers off one by one and kiss the top of her head. Mommy will be back before dinner. Grandma is going to make you pancakes. Sophie stares at me with those enormous brown eyes. She does not say anything. She just holds on. My mother's phone buzzes on the granite counter. She glances at it, a text. She puts the phone face down. Who is that? I ask, not suspicious, just making conversation. Oh, just Amber, something about her stylist. Amber always had something. A nail appointment, a gallery opening, Afrin's birthday brunch that somehow required 3 outfit changes. I did not think twice. Looking back, I should have noticed my mother put that phone down a little too carefully. The drive to Ridgeview Community Hospital takes 20 minutes. I know every pothole, every traffic light, every shortcut through the Walgreens parking lot when the left turn lane backs up. I have driven this route 1,000 times in scrubs. Today I am in sweatpants and a zip-up hoodie, and I am the one checking in at admissions instead of swiping my badge at the staff entrance. Pre-op is a fluorescent lit room with a curtain that does not quite close. A nurse named Dina, I know her from the 3rd floor, starts my IV. She does not miss the vein. I appreciate that more than she knows. I text Marcus going in. Kids are with mom and dad. Love you. 3 dots then. Love you. Call me when you're out. Tell your mom I said thanks. I set the phone on the side table. Screen up. Volume on the anesthesiologist Comessin. Young guy, calm voice. He explains what he's going to do. Like I have never heard of Propal before, I let him. People need their scripts. I lie back. The ceiling tiles have water stains in the corner. I count them. 4. The IV line is cold in my arm. I think about Sophie's face at drop-off. Those brown eyes. She did not cry, but she wanted to. I can always tell. Her bottom lip tightens on the left side. She got that from Marcus. The anesthesiologist says, "You're going to feel a little warm." My last thought before the lights go out. They are safe. They are with my parents. 4 hours later, I would learn exactly what that promise was worth. I come back to the world in pieces. Sound first, a beeping monitor, someone coughing in the next bay. Then light, too bright, the overhead fluorescence drilling through my eyelids. Then pain, a dull ache on my right side. Deep under the skin, like someone parked a truck on my liver. The clock on the wall says 2:47. I turn my head. My phone is on the side eatable where I left it. The screen is dark. I reach for it and my fingers feel thick, clumsy, like I am wearing oven mitts. I tap the screen, it lights up. 14 missed calls, all from the same number. Mrs. Doyle, Margaret Doyle, my neighbor. 67 years old, retired 3rd grade teacher, lives in the gray ranch house next door with 2 cats and a garden that puts mine to shame. She has watched my kids play in the sprinkler every summer since Oliver could walk. Mrs. Doyle does not call 14 times unless something is wrong. 3 voicemails, 6 text messages. I open the texts first because my hands are shaking too hard to hold the phone to my ear. First text, 12:18 in the afternoon. Whitney, honey, your kids are at my house. Your parents left, call me when you can. Second text, 12:34. Whitney, please call me. Oliver is upset. Third text. 11:15, I'm getting worried. The kids are fine, but please call me. I don't know what is going on. The room tilts. Not from the anesthesia, from something worse. I press the call button. Mrs. Doyle picks up before the first ring finishes. Oh, thank God. Her voice is tight, not panicked. Margaret Doyle spent 30 years managing classrooms full of 8-year-olds. She does not panic, but she is worried. I can hear it in the way she exhales. Mrs. Doyle, what happened? Listen, your parents left around 11:30. I was trimming the hedges by the driveway and I saw your dad's car pull out. I thought maybe they were running an errand, but then I looked over and saw the kids sitting on your parents' front porch by themselves. Sophie was crying. My incision pulls when I grip the phone tighter. I went right over. Oliver had his arm around Sophie. He told me Grandpa said they would be back in an hour. That was Whitney. That was over 3 hours ago. 3 hours. My children, 5 and 7, alone on a porch for God knows how long before Mrs. Doyle found them in May in the heat. Are they okay? They are fine. They are at my kitchen table. Oliver made Sophie a peanut butter sandwich. That boy takes care of his sister, a 7-year-old making lunch for his 5-year-old sister because the adults who were supposed to be there left. Thank you, Mrs. Doyle. I mean that. I know you do, honey. Are you okay? You sound off. I just woke up from surgery. Silence. Then very quietly. Oh, Whitney, I close my eyes. The heart monitor beeps. The IV drip ticks. Somewhere down the hall, a phone rings 3 times and stops. I will come get them as soon as I can. You take your time. They are safe with me. I hang up, then I call my mother. Deanne Walsh picks up on the 3rd ring, cheerful, breezy, the voice she uses when she is pretending nothing happened and daring you to say otherwise. Hi, sweetheart. How did it go? Where are my children? A pause, just a beat. I have heard this pause my entire life. It is the sound of my mother calculating. Oh, Mrs. Doyle called you. Where are my children? Whitney, calm down. Your father took Amber to listen. She had a last-minute cancellation at her salon, and you know how hard it is to get an appointment with Ricardo. Those slots fill up in minutes. I say nothing. The kids were napping when we left. Your dad said he checked on them before we were not napping. They were on the porch. Sophie was crying. Another pause, shorter this time. She is recalibrating. Well, Mrs. Doyle was right there. She is a perfectly responsible mom. What? Why did you leave? And this is the part, the sentence, the 7 words that will sit in my chest like shrapnel for the rest of my life. Your sister needed us more. She had a hair appointment. I do not respond for 8 seconds. I count them on the heart monitor. Then don't come to my house. Don't call my children. I hang up before she can answer. I set the phone face down on the hospital bed, screen against the sheet, the same way my mother set hers face down on the granite counter that morning when Amber's text came in. When this whole thing started, I stare at the ceiling, 4 water stains, the IV drip ticks. My side aches where the surgeon cut, but the sharpest pain is not in my abdomen. I lie in the recovery bay and run the math. Not the methodical kind, the other kind, the lifetime kind. When I was 10, I built a baking soda volcano for the science fair. Blue ribbon. My parents did not come. Amber had a dance recital across town. Mom said, "We will see yours next year, honey." There was no next year. I stopped entering. When I was 16, I got a partial scholarship to state. 4 years of pharmacy work to cover the gap. My mother's reaction, that's nice, a sweetheart. Amber just got into the summer arts program at the Berkshire Center. Isn't that wonderful? When I was 22, I graduated with my BSN cum laude. My parents arrived 40 minutes late. Amber was not there. She had a migraine. Mom said, "I have a photograph of that day. Me in my cap and gown, flanked by 2 empty chairs where they should have been sitting. When I was 26, I married Marcus in a courthouse ceremony with a backyard barbecue. After Diane's contribution, she showed up, complained about the heat, and left early to drive Amber to a gallery opening in the city. She gave me a card that said, 'Proud of you always.' No check, no gift card, just the card. Marcus never mentioned it. That is not his way. But I saw him look at the empty card, then look at me. He was keeping score on my behalf because he knew I had stopped counting. I have spent 32 years being the person who does not need anything. Not because I do not need, because nobody asks. And today my mother left my children on a porch to take her other daughter to get her hair done. The pattern is not new, but for the first time I can see it. Let me tell you about Amber's engagement party because it matters. 2 years ago, my sister got engaged to a man named Derek Catton. He manages a craft brewery in the next town over. Pleasant enough. The kind of guy who says we should hang out more but never follows up. They had been dating for 14 months. My mother planned the engagement party for 8 months. 8 months. A rented hall at the Ridge View Country Club. 200 guests, a live jazz quartet, a custom ice sculpture shaped like 2 swans whose necks formed a heart. Cost somewhere north of $30,000. My father took out a home equity line to cover it. My wedding, in contrast, cost $412. I know because I still have the receipts. Courthouse fee, flowers from the grocery store, burgers and corn on the cob in the backyard. Marcus's mother brought a sheet cake from Costco. It was the best day of my life, and I would not trade it for anything. But I would be lying if I said it did not sting. Amber got a chandelier and a string quartet. I get a card that said, "Proud of you always, and my mother leaving before the sun went down. I never asked for a party. I never asked for money. I never asked for equal. I just wanted present. I wanted my mother to sit in a plastic chair in my backyard and stay until the fireflies came out. She couldn't even do that." My father once told me at Amber's engagement party while I was carrying a tray of champagne glasses someone had asked me to distribute, "You are the strong one, Whitney, your sister needs more." As if needing less made me worth less. Here's the thing about patterns. When they are old, you can almost live with them. You file them under "that's just how my family is." You build scar tissue. You develop shortcuts, lower expectations, fewer invitations. A therapist you see every other Thursday. But when the pattern starts touching your children, the scar tissue tears. 4 months before the surgery, Oliver had his first school play. He was the narrator, 12 lines. He practiced in the bathroom mirror every night for 3 weeks, holding a wooden spoon as a microphone. I called my mother. "Mom, Oliver Uncas' play is Friday at 6:30. He has a speaking role. He would love it if you and Dad came." She said yes. Of course, she said yes. Diane always says yes. Saying yes costs nothing. Following through is the expensive part. Friday at 6:15, my phone buzzes. Text from Mom, "So sorry, honey. Amber needs a ride to her therapist. Traffic is bad. Give Oliver a hug from Grandma." Oliver looked for hair in the audience 3 times during his performance. I watched his eyes scan the rows. I smiled every time he looked at me, big and steady so he would not feel the gap. Then Sophie's FTH birthday. Diane came and brought Amber. Amber spent the whole party on her phone scrolling through something that made her laugh while 5-year-olds played musical chairs behind her. She did not bring a gift. Deanne brought one present, a stuffed elephant, and wrote the tag. "Love, Grandma and Aunt Amber." I said nothing. I smiled. I cut the cake. It swept the floor after everyone left. My jaw aches from all the years of smiling through it. The hospital releases me at 5 in the afternoon. Strict instructions. No lifting over 10 pounds for 2 weeks. No driving for 24 hours. Rest. Fluids, follow up with the surgeon in 10 days. I drive myself home. I should not. The discharge nurse said someone should pick me up, and I told her my neighbor would. That was a lie. Mrs. Doyle does not drive anymore. Her cataracts are too advanced. And there is nobody else to call. Not today. I pull into my driveway at 5:28. Mrs. Doyle is already standing at her front door. She walks the kids across the lawn, holding Sophie's hand in her left and Oliver's in her right. She moves slowly, deliberately, like she is delivering something precious. Sophie sees me and runs. She slams into my legs and I gasp. The stitches pull, but I do not let go. Oliver walks up. He does not run. He is 7 and he has already learned to be careful. "Mom, are you okay?" "I am fine, baby." He nods, then quieter. I held Sophie's hand the whole time. I kneel down. The pain is extraordinary. I do not care. I wrap both arms around both of them and I hold on. "You did so good, Oliver, so good." Mrs. Doyle watches from the edge of the driveway. She does not come closer. She knows this moment belongs to us. When I stand up, she says, "Those are good kids, Whitney. Whatever you decide to do, those are good kids." Sophie tugs my sleeve. "Mommy, Grandma said Aunt Amber needed her more. 5 years old." She is 5 years old and she heard that sentence and she is repeating it to me because it confused her. I take her inside. 7 in the evening. Kids are in the bath. Bubbles, rubber ducks, normal sounds. I sit on the closed toilet lid with my phone in my hand, watching Oliver stack foam letters on the tile wall while Sophie blows bubbles at him. My side throbs with every breath. Marcus calls from his hotel room in Denver. I can hear the muffled hum of the conference center in the background. "Hey, how are you feeling? How did it go?" I tell everything from the 14 missed calls to Mrs. Doyle to the call with my mother. I speak in a flat voice, the way I chart a patient's vitals. Facts only. No editorializing, no emotion, just the data. Marcus is quiet for a long time. Whitney, our kids were alone on a porch. I know. Sophie is 5. I know. Marcus, I am booking the first flight back. Don't finish the conference. You present on Thursday. I have this handled. He does not argue. He knows me well enough to recognize when I am not asking for permission. I am informing him. What are you going to do? I look at the kitchen table through the bathroom doorway. The manila folder is sitting exactly where I left it that morning. The emergency numbers, the insurance cards, the kids' schedules, all still neatly organized inside. All completely useless because the people I gave them to were getting iced lattes while my children waited on a porch. Everything I say. Marcus takes a breath. Okay, we hang up. Oliver has spelled mom in foam letters on Thuol. He does not know what it means tonight, but I do. 9:45 at night. Kids are asleep. Oliver went down at 8:30 without a fuss. Sophie needed 2 stories and her stuffed rabbit. The house is quiet. The dishwasher hums. I sit at the kitchen table with a glass of water and open Instagram on my phone. I have not looked at Amber's account in months. I stopped following her after she posted a 30-second reel of herself unboxing Skin products on the same day I worked a 16-hour shift because 2 nurses called in sick. Different planets, same family. I type her name in the search bar. Her profile loads recent posts. And there it is. Posted at 10:48 in the morning, 45 minutes before my surgery. A selfie in a salon chair, black cape draped over her shoulders. Ricardo standing behind her with a comb. Caption, emergency glam sesh. Mom came through last minute. Mom came through. I scroll down. Comment from Diane Walsh. 3 red heart emojis and the words, anything for my girl. Anything for my girl. I keep scrolling. Another post. 1:30 in the afternoon. Amber and Diane sitting across from each other at a cafe. 2 iced lattes, a marble table. Sunlight through a window. Caption, post-salon brunch with my bestie, Akara mom. 1:30 in the afternoon. I was in recovery at 1:30. Groggy, alone, reaching for my phone with shaking hands to find 14 missed calls from a neighbor who had more sense than my parents. At 1:30, while Oliver was making Sophie a peanut butter sandwich in a stranger's kitchen, my mother was posing for a brunch photo with my sister. I screenshot both posts. I print them on the home printer. I put them in the manila folder. The folder is getting thicker. I close Instagram. I close my eyes. I sit at my kitchen table in the dark and I listen to the dishwasher run its cycle and I make a decision that has been 32 years overdue. I open my laptop. The screen casts blue light across the kitchen table. The manila folder sits to my right, a pen on top. I type slowly because the pain medication makes my fingers sluggish. First search, how to change emergency contacts at elementary school. 3 clicks, a downloadable form, I save it to my desktop. Second search, adding a codily and a notary. I have both. Sandra Klein did our original will when Oliver was born. I pull up her office number. Friday, 9 to 4. Third search. How long does it take to rekey residential locks? Same day. Some locksmiths come within the hour. I pull the manila folder open. I take out the kids' schedules and insurance copies, the things I had packed for my parents. I flip to a blank spot inside the folder's front cover. I write a list in the margin, neat handwriting numbered. 1. Locks. 2. School pickup list. 3. Will 4. Power of attorney. 5. Medical directive. 6. Insurance beneficiaries. 6 items. 6 walls between my parents and my children. Each one a form, a phone call, a signature, nothing dramatic, nothing loud, just paperwork. The kind of quiet work that nobody notices until they try to open a door and realize the key does not fit anymore. I close the laptop, put the pen down, press my hand against my incision. The stitches itch under the surgical tape. I go to bed at 11. I sleep through the night for the first time in months. No dreams, no worrying about who I forgot to call back, just dark. And then morning, Wednesday morning, day 1. I call Ridgeview Lock and Key at 8:15. A man named Dale answers. I explain what I need. 2 deadbolts, front and back door, new garage code. I can be there by 10. He says, that works. Dale arrives in a white van with a magnetic sign on the door. He is in his 50s, quiet, efficient. He does not ask why I am changing my locks on a Wednesday morning while still moving like I just had surgery. He measures, he drills, he works. While Dale replaces the front deadbolt, my phone rings. Mom, I watch the screen light up on the kitchen counter. I watch it ring 6 times. I do not pick up. The voicemail notification appears 30 seconds later. Ito not listened to it. Not yet. Dale finishes in 90 minutes. 2 new deadbolts. New garage keypad code. He hands me 3 brass keys. They are heavier than the old ones, thicker. The edges are sharp and clean. $340. I pay cash from the envelope I keep in the junk drawer. I give 1 key to Mrs. Doyle. She takes it without a word, but her hand squeezes mine for a second. I keep one for myself. I put it on my keychain where the old one used to be. I mail one to Marcus with a note. New locks, same house. Love you. I do not make a copy for my mother. I do not make one for my father. 3 keys. That is my family now. I go back inside, open the manila folder, pick up the pen, cross off the first item on the list. 1 down, 5 to go. Thursday morning, day 2, I drive to Ridgeview Elementary. The parking lot is mostly empty. Classes are in session. I walk in through the main entrance, past the hand-painted mural of a rainbow that Oliver helped paint last year, and into the front office. Mrs. Holt sits behind the counter. She has been the school secretary for 15 years. She knows every parent, every emergency contact, every custody arrangement in the building. She looks up over her reading glasses. Mrs. Walsh, what can I do for you? I need to update our authorized pickup list. She pulls the form from a file cabinet behind her. A single page, 2 columns, names on the left, relationship on the right. I read the current list. Diane Walsh, grandmother. Ray Walsh, grandfather. I take the pen. I draw a single line through each name. Clean, deliberate. Under the removed names, Erite, Margaret Doyle, neighbor and emergency guardian. Mrs. Holt watches. She does not say anything for a moment, then carefully. Everything okay, Mrs. Walsh? Just updating some things. She nods. She does not push, but I notice the way her eyes linger on the crossed-out names. She has seen this before. In 15 years behind that counter, she has seen parents draw lines through grandparents' names. She knows what it means. I also fill out the emergency medical authorization form. Remove Diane and Ray. Add Marcus' sister in Charlotte. I slide both forms back across the counter. As of 9:43 on a Thursday morning, my parents could no longer pick up my children, authorize their medical treatment, or be called in an emergency. As far as Ridgeview Elementary was concerned, Diane and Ray Walsh no longer existed. Item 2, done. If you have ever had to cross a name off a pickup list, someone who should have been the safest person in your children's lives, then you know the weight of that pen. It is not heavy because of the ink. It is heavy because of everything you wished you never had to write. Take a second, like this video, subscribe if you have not, and stay with me because day 3 is when the lawyer got involved. Friday afternoon, day 3. Sandra Klein's office is on the 2nd floor of a converted Victorian on Main Street. I have been here twice before. Once when we wrote our original will after Oliver was born, and once when Marcus and I set up power of attorney before his first long work trip. Sandra is in her 50s. Silver hair, reading glasses on a chain around her neck. The kind of lawyer who keeps a candy bowl on her desk and still sends handwritten notes to clients on their birthdays. I sit down in the leather chair across from her desk and open the manila folder. I need to make changes to our will, our power of attorney, and our medical directive. She puts her pen down. What kind of changes? I need to remove my parents from everything. Sandra does not flinch. She has heard this before. Family lawyers always have. Both parents, Deanne and Ray Walsh, both. She pulls up our file on her computer. I watch the screen reflect in her glasses. Currently, your mother is listed as the secondary guardian nominee. Your father is the alternate on the power of attorney, and both are authorized on the medical directive for the children. Remove all of it. Replace with Claire Walsh, Marcus' sister in Charlotte. Sandra types. The keyboard clicks are the only sound in the room. I can draft the codicil today. We can notarize it before you leave. I sign where she tells me to sign. 3 documents, 6 signatures, a notary stamp from Sandra's paralegal, who comes in from the next room with a warm smile and an ink pad. In the time it takes to eat lunch, I unwrite my parents from my children's future. Item 3, done. Saturday morning, day 4. I sit at the kitchen table, my command center now, and call the life insurance company, hold music for 22 minutes. A saxophone rendition of something that might have once been a love song. An agent named Kevin picks up, professional, polished. How can I help you today, Mrs. Walsh? I need to change my contingent beneficiary. Sure thing. Can you verify your policy number? I read it from the card in the manila folder. And who is the current contingent beneficiary? My mother, Diane Walsh. And who would you like to replace her with? Claire Walsh. My sister-in-law, Charlotte, North Carolina. A pause, Kevin choosing his next words carefully. Just to confirm, you are removing your mother as contingent beneficiary on your life insurance policy. Yes, understood. I'll process that now. You should receive a confirmation email within 48 hours. Thank you, Kevin. I hang up. Open the manila folder. It is thick now. Screenshots from Instagram. The school pickup form with the crossed-out names, a copy of the signed coddle, the locksmith receipt, and now a note. Insurance updated. Confirmation pending. I pick up the pen, cross off item 6. Every item on the list has a line through it, all 6. I close the folder, press both palms flat on the kitchen table. The surface is cool under my hands. I can hear Oliver in the living room, building something out of Legos. Sophie is singing to herself in her bedroom. Some song she learned at school about a caterpillar. 4 days, 6 changes, a lifetime of asking nothing from my family. And this is what it took for me to start asking everything of myself. The calls start coming in waves. Wednesday, the day I changed the locks, my mother left her first voicemail. Cheerful, casual, hi, sweetheart, just checking in. Hope you're resting well, call me back when you get a chance. Thursday, the day I went to the school. A second voicemail. The tone shifts. Concern or something shaped like it. Whitney, why aren't you picking up? I've called twice now. Call me, please. Friday, the day I sat in Sandra Klein's office. A third voicemail, no more pretense. This is getting ridiculous, Whitney. I am your mother. I don't know what you think happened on Tuesday, but this silent treatment is childish. Call me. Saturday, a text from Dad, 6 words. The most emotional output Ray Walsh has produced in a decade. Your mother is upset. Call her. Saturday afternoon. A text from Amber. 4 sentences, each one a masterpiece of missing the point. Mom's been crying all week. You're being dramatic. It was just a few hours. Can you please just call her back? I read every message, every voicemail. I listened to the way my mother's voice shifts from cheerful to worried to angry across 3 days. And I recognized the pattern with perfect clarity. She is not worried about my children. She is not worried about me. She is worried about the narrative. Diane Walsh's story of herself requires a daughter who absorbs, forgives, and moves on. A daughter who does not change the locks. I am ruining her story. Good. I do not respond to any of them. Not because I am punishing them, because I have nothing left to say. I said everything I needed to say on Tuesday afternoon from a hospital bed. Don't come to my house. Don't call Mitchildren. Sunday morning, 1 week after the surgery, my incision is healing. The bruising around the port sites has faded from purple to yellow. Amber calls at 9:15. I stare at the screen. Her name, the photo I assigned to her contact 3 years ago. A candid shot from a barbecue, both of us laughing. We look like sisters who like each other. I pick up. First time since Tuesday. Finally. Amber exhales like she has been holding her breath for days. What is your problem, Whitney? My children were alone in a porch while I was in surgery. They were with Mrs. Doyle. They were fine. They were alone first on a porch because you needed your hair done. Amber makes a sound, half laugh, half scoff. The sound of someone who has never had to justify her needs because no one ever asked her to. It wasn't like that. Mom said the kids were napping and Dad checked on them before. Amber. Sophie is 5. She was crying. Silence. I can hear her breathing. I can hear the espresso machine in whatever cafe she is sitting in. Then you're punishing Mom for one mistake. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm protecting my children from a pattern. What pattern? The one where everyone in this family drops everything for you and I get a card that says, "Proud of you always." She has no answer for that. I do not need one. Goodbye, Amber. I hang up. Set the phone on the counter. Screen down. Your sister needed us more. She had a hair appointment. The sentence loops in my head like a song I cannot unhear. 7 words. A lifetime in 7 words. That will be the last conversation I have with my sister for a very long time. Sunday afternoon. Marcus walks through the door at 2:15. He canceled his Thursday presentation and caught a red-eye out of Denver. He drops his bag in the hallway, does not even take off his jacket. He walks straight to the kitchen table where I am sitting with the manila folder, a cup of cold coffee, and the list with all 6 items crossed off. He sits across from me. I slide the folder over without a word. He opens it, reads the school pickup form first, looks at the crossed-out names, turns the page, the codicil, the insurance change confirmation, the locksmith receipt. He stops at the Instagram screenshots, the salon selfie with Ricardo, the cafe photo with the iced lattes, the timestamp, 1:30 in the afternoon. She was drinking an iced latte while our son was making our daughter a peanut butter sandwich. Marcus stares at the photo. His jaw works. He is not a man who yells. He processes. I can see the processors running behind his eyes. He closes the folder, sets it down, looks at me. You did the right thing. 4 words. I have been waiting my entire life for someone to say 4 words like that to me about a decision involving my family. Not don't make waves. Not that's just how they are. Not she's your mother. You did the right thing. My eyes burn. I do not cry. I used up that quota years ago, but they burn. And Marcus reaches across the table and puts his hand over mine, careful not to touch the IV bruise that is still fatting on the back of my hand. We sit like that for a while. The dishwasher runs. Sophie giggles in the next room. Marcus said 4 words, and for the first time in a week, I felt my shoulders drop. If this story is hitting close to home, if you know what it means to be the one who always shows up and never gets shown up for, hit subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because what happened the following Sunday when my parents showed up at my front door is the part I need you to stay for. The following Sunday, 2 weeks after the surgery, my stitches are dissolving. My bruises are gone. I can bend without gasping. I know they are coming. Diane Walsh does not let a problem exist without trying to fix it. And by fix it, I mean force it back into the shape she prefers. Sunday dinner has been our ritual for years. She expects it will smooth this over the way it has smoothed over everything else. A pot roast and a table prayer. And we all pretend nothing happened. I get the kids dressed. Normal routine. Oliver picks out his own shirt, a blue one with the dinosaur on the pocket. Sophie insists on wearing her rain boots even though it is sunny. I put the manila folder by the front door next to the coat rack within reach. Marcus comes into the kitchen. Do you want me to be there? I need to do this myself. He nods. He does not argue. He has learned the difference between my I'm fine and my I have a plan. At 5:15, I hear the car. I stand at the kitchen window. My mother's silver Camry turns into the driveway. Slow, careful, like-ish is arriving at a negotiation, not a dinner. Rye is in the passenger seat. Amber's red Civic pulls in behind them. She came too. Of course she did. 3 car doors open. 3 sets of feet on the walkway. My mother is carrying a glass baking dish. Pot roast. The smell reaches me through the window screen. Rosemary and garlic, the same recipe she has made every Sunday since I was 12. She walks up to the front door. She does not knock. She reaches into her purse and pulls out her key, the old key. She did not even knock first. The key slides into the lock, turns, nothing. She tries again, slower this time, like the problem is angle, not access. The deadbolt does not move. Ray. She steps back, looks at the lock, looks at the key. This isn't working. My father climbs the porch steps. He tries the key himself. Same result. He jiggles it, wiggles the handle. The door does not give. Amber's voice from the walkway, just ring the doorbell. The doorbell chimes. I am already standing in the hallway. The manila folder is in my left hand. I count to 5. Not to build drama, but because my heart is pounding and I need it to slow down before I open that door. I open the door. I'm not in a hospital gown. I'm not hunched over, guarding my incision. I am standing straight. White blouse, hair pulled back, the manila folder against my hip. My mother's face lights up on instinct muscle memory. She opens her arms wide, pot roast balanced in the crook of her elbow. Whitney, we brought pot roast. I made extra gravy the way the keto doesn't work anymore. Her arms drop. The pot roast dish tilts in her hands. Dad steadies it. What do you mean? I had the locks changed on Wednesday. Diane blinks. She looks at the doorknob, then at me. Then at the folder in my hand. She does not understand what is happening yet, but she can feel it. The script is wrong. This is not how Sunday goes. Whitney, can we just come in and know? One word, 3 letters, the most powerful sentence in the English language. No. I open the manila folder. I have rehearsed this in my head every night for a week. But now that the moment is here, I do not need the rehearsal. The documents speak for themselves. I pull out the first page. Hold it up so she can read it. This is a copy of the authorized pickup form from Ridgeview Elementary. Your names have been removed, effective last Thursday. Diane takes the paper. Her fingers leave a smudge of condensation from the pot roast dish. She reads it. Color drains from her cheeks in real time like someone opened a valve. Whitney, Kent. I pull the next document. This is the codicil to our will. You have been removed as the guardianship nominee for Oliver and Sophie. Claire Walsh in Charlotte has been named Claire. Dad's voice. Low disbelieving, Marcus's sister. Yes, I pull the third document. This is the confirmation of the insurance beneficiary change. You have been removed as contingent beneficiary on my life insurance policy. Amber steps forward from the walkway. You changed your life insurance. Are you kidding me? I pull the final page. Anthise is the updated medical directive. If something happens to me, you are not authorized to make decisions for my children. Claire Walsh's. I close the folder. My mother's pot roast is getting cold. The gravy is congealing under the aluminum foil. The glass dish fogs from the inside. I look at my mother, my father, my sister, 3 people who had 32 years to show up and chose not to. You left my children on a porch while I was unconscious on an operating table for a hair appointment. I hold the folder against my chest. My voice is steady. My hands are not shaking. The porch light buzzes above us. A moth circles it once, twice. These are not threats. These are changes I have already made. Diane's composure fractures. This is insane. Her voice jumps an octave. The pot roast dish shakes in her hands. I am your mother. I have given you everything. Everything I have. Everything. You know what I mean. We were there for you. We are always there for. I pull out my phone. I open the screenshot. I turn the screen toward her. The cafe selfie. Amber and Diane, 2 iced lattes, marble table. Sunlight through a window. Time stamp. 1:30 in the afternoon. You posted this at 1:30. I was in recovery at 1:30. Alone with 14 missed calls from the neighbor who took care of my children because you wouldn't. Diane stares at the phone. Her mouth opens, closes. That was after you what? After you dropped your grandchildren off at nobody's house. After you left a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old sitting on a porch. Dad steps in, his negotiation voice, the one he uses when he wants everyone to calm down without actually addressing the problem. Blood is blood, Whitney. You don't throw family away over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. I look at my father. Dad, Oliver made Sophie a peanut butter sandwich at Mrs. Doyle's house because you weren't there to make her lunch. He is 7. He should not have to do that. Amber pushes past both of them. Her arms are crossed. Her jaw is tight. You are ruining this family over one afternoon. I look at Amber, the golden child, the emergency glam session, the one who always gets the ride, the party, the heart emojis. You needed Mom for a hair appointment. I needed her for surgery, and she chose you. I pause like she always does. A screen door opens to my right. Mrs. Doyle steps out onto her porch next door. She does not say anything. She stands with her hands clasped in front of her, watching. Diane sees her. Her voice drops to a hiss. Can we at least come inside and talk about this? No. My mother stands on my porch holding a cold pot roast and looking past me through the doorway. Oliver is at the kitchen table. He has his crayons out. He is drawing a house. A square with a triangle roof the way kids do. 4 stick figures inside the house. Too tall, too small, and one figure standing off to the side far from the door. He has written a word next to it in careful, crooked letters. Grandma. Diane sees the drawing. Her face crumbles. Not the performative crumble, the angry quiver she does when she wants you to feel guilty. This is different. This is the face of a woman who has just been drawn outside the house by a 7-year-old who does not understand metaphor. For 1 second, one real unguarded second. My mother looks like a person who understands exactly what she is losing. Then the second passes. She turns back to me. Her chin lifts. The mask slides back on. You'll regret this. When you need me, and you will need me, I won't be there. I look at my mother, the woman who gave me a card with no check, who missed my science fair, who left my wedding early, who chose a salon over my surgery. You weren't there Tuesday. I step back. I close the door. The new lock clicks. Brass on brass. Clean. Final. Through the door, I hear Amber's voice. Mom, let's go. 3 sets of feet walk back down the walkway. 3 car doors close. The engine starts. The car backs out of the driveway. I lean my back against the door. Manila folder pressed against my chest. My heart hammers behind it. Mommy. Oliver Unk's voice from the kitchen table. Is Grandma coming in? Not today, baby. I do not move from the door for a long time. The porch light clicks off. Motion sensor timeout. The driveway goes dark. Marcus appears from the hallway. He has been around the corner the whole time, listening, ready if I needed him, staying back because I asked. He walks over, takes the manila folder from my hands, sets it on the side table by the coat rack next to the bowl where we keep our new keys. He wraps his arms around me, careful. His chin rests on the top off my head. He smells like laundry detergent and coffee. He does not say, I'm sorry. He does not say, are you okay? He does not say any of the things people say when they are trying to fill silence. He says, you are incredible. I press my forehead against his chest. I was terrified. Same thing. We stand there, 2 people holding each other in a hallway while a 7-year-old draws pictures at the kitchen table and a 5-year-old in rain boots comes around the corner. Daddy. Sophie tugs at Marcus' pant leg. Can we have pot roast? We all laugh. Small, tired, real. The kind of laughter that only happens when something hard is over and you are all still standing. No pot roast tonight, baby, I say. How about grilled cheese? With tomato soup. With tomato soup. I make 4 grilled cheese sandwiches. Marcus heats the soup. Oliver sets the table. 4 plates. 4 napkins. 4 glasses of water. No extra seats. No place setting for someone who might cancel. For the first time in my life, I sit at a table and do not wonder who is going to show up late, leave early, or not come at all. 4 plates. That is enough. 2 weeks pass. Quiet ones. My mother does not come back. She does not call. I do not know if that is pride or punishment. With Diane, the line between the two has always been invisible. Dad sends 1 text, 5 words. Your mother is not eating. I read it. I recognize it for what it is. Ray managing Diane's emotions and outsourcing the guilt to someone else. He has been doing this my entire life. He is not asking me to fix a problem. He is asking me to be the problem solver so he does not have to. I do not respond. Amber posts on Instagram. Passive-aggressive quotes in serif fonts over sunset backgrounds. Family forgives. Some people throw away everyone over nothing. Life is too short for grudges. I scroll past the first 2. On the 3rd one, I unfollow her. The notification disappears. 1 less voice in my feed telling me I owe my pain to someone else's comfort. Mrs. Doyle brings over a casserole on Tuesday. Chicken and rice. She sets it on the counter and looks at me with those steady teacher eyes. I have been your neighbor for 12 years, Whitney. Those are good kids and you are a good mother. Thank you, Mrs. Doyle. Margaret, call me Margaret. Marcus registers himself as the primary contact on every school form. He also installs a Ring doorbell, not because he thinks my parents are dangerous. He thinks they are desperate and desperate people do not always knock. I go back to work on the following Monday. My charge nurse Patty asks how I am feeling. I say lighter. She does not ask what I mean, but she smiles like she knows. Oliver stops asking about Grandma after the first week. He is 7. He adapts. He fills the space with Lego sets and soccer practice and a chapter book about a dog who solves mysteries. Sophie still mentions her. Not every day, but sometimes before bed, she will say, "Mommy, when is Grandma coming back?" I sit on the edge of her bed. I push her hair behind her ear. I say, "Grandma made a choice that was not safe for you. Mommy's job is to keep you safe. That is the most important job I have." Sophie nods. "Okay, Mommy." She hugs her stuffed rabbit. She closes her eyes. I do not know if I will ever speak to my parents again. I do not know if Amber will ever understand what she cost all of us. I do not need to know today. Today my locks work. My will is right. My children are asleep, and the table is set for 4. Some people will tell you that cutting off family is the hardest thing you will ever do. They are wrong. The hardest thing is staying. The hardest thing is smiling through 32 years of being the person nobody worries about because you train them not to. The hardest thing is handing your children to people who have never once put you first and believing each time that maybe this time will be different. Leaving was the first easy decision I ever made. It just took 32 years to earn it. That is my story. 4 days, 6 documents, 1 door that does not open with the old key anymore. If this reminded you to check who is on your child's pickup list, do it today. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.